Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in the US and he is doing what he knows best, asking for more aid. An aid package worth billions of dollars languishes in the Congress. It is stuck amid a partisan political row. Zelensky's eyes are on the package. In fact, he addressed the US military officers at the National Defense University in Washington and he received a standing ovation for it. What did the Ukrainian president say? He rebuked the Republicans who are standing in the way of the aid delivery. He said this delay is a dream come true for Vladimir Putin. Zelensky later has a meeting with US President Joe Biden. It is expected that Biden also will make similar remarks. His only aim is to get the money out. So he's trying to shake the Congress, which has been sitting on the decision since September. US lawmakers, however, are not convinced to shell out more funds for Ukraine, and Biden has also warned that money for military and economic assistance to Ukraine has all but run out. Arms packages for Ukraine have already been shrinking. But you see, Zelensky's wish list is never ending. This, by the way, is his third trip to the US since the war started, and all he has done is ask for more. But my question here is, where is all the military aid going? We certainly cannot see any advancement on the ground. The counteroffensive has largely failed. So what explanation does Ukraine really have? You see, since Russia's invasion in February 2022, Ukraine has received $230 billion in aid. This includes humanitarian, financial, military support. The US has sent some $75 billion so far. Another package worth $60 billion is currently stalled in the Congress. The EU has pledged about $91 billion. The UK has sent some $15 billion. The war has been going on for 657 days. Ukraine has received over $230 billion. Now, this means since the beginning of the war, Kiev has spent over $350 million every day on an average. Can you believe that? This is the cost of the Ukraine war. And these, by the way, were just aid packages. What about the weapons, tanks, aircraft, the military training? Ukraine fires thousands of shells every day. Most now come from the NATO's most senior military official, Rob Boyer, has said that the bottom of the barrel is now visible. Ukraine, however, is acting like a bottomless well. Germany, for that matter, has sent over 100 Leopard tanks. Ukraine lost most of them to Russia within the first few days. Norway and Denmark have sent F-16 fighter jets. The UK is training 30,000 new and existing Ukrainian personnel. The US and Europe are running out of ammunition, trying to satisfy Ukraine's appetite. But it seems like they are not even close. You see, Ukraine keeps asking for more. But then, where is the accountability? What is Kiev actually doing with all that military assistance? Ukrainian media has reported that a third of this aid did not even reach the military. A third of it. But where did it even go? In the pockets of corrupt officials, is it? Zelensky is trying hard to stamp out corruption in his government. Last month, he fired 2 top cyber defense officials. Before that, he fired all regional military recruitment bosses. Why were they removed from power? Was it because of the rampant corruption? There are enemies across the border, and then there are enemies within the government. So can any amount of aid really help Ukraine's cause? Where is Alexei Navalny? The jailed Russian anti-corruption activist and prominent opponent of Vladimir Putin has not been heard from for nearly a week. Alexei Navalny is a prominent figure in Russian politics. He's long been an ardent voice against corruption and a critic of what is described as managed democracy in Russia. Convicted on charges of extremism, among others, believed by many to be politically motivated, Navalny is set to spend 3 decades in prison. He expressed doubt about his release while Putin remains in power. Navalny was promptly arrested after returning to Russia on the 17th of January 2021, initially sentenced to 3.5 years in a penal colony for allegedly violating terms of a suspended sentence. His imprisonment has been marked by struggle and resistance. In March 2022, amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Navalny received an additional 9-year sentence in a strict regime penal colony. In August 2023, he was given 19 more years in prison. But recently, Navalny has vanished from public view. For over 6 days now, his lawyers have been unable to establish contact, prompting serious concern about his well-being. And the circumstances of his so-called disappearance are puzzling. On the 11th of December, Navalny missed a court appearance via video conference. The officials cited a power outage, but this led his supporters to question the veracity of that explanation. And in another twist in the tale, Navalny is no longer listed as a prisoner at his known location. The efforts to locate Navalny led to IK7, which is another penal colony with notoriously harsh conditions, but he was not found there either. So what does all of this mean? Is there an intentional effort to hide his whereabouts? Where is he and what really happened? And this mystery, by the way, coincides with a significant political moment. Vladimir Putin has announced his candidacy for a 5th presidential term. Reports indicating Navalny's health has worsened in prison, with recent incidents of collapse likely due to malnourishment. Just a week ago, his aide, Kira Yarmish, has spoken out about the dire conditions Navalny faces, from lack of basic amenities and insufficient nutrition. And despite these challenges, Navalny's supporters remain defiant, continuing their resistance against Putin's regime. But the reality remains. What is the future of this movement without its leader? As we delve deeper into the mystery of Alexei Navalny's disappearance, we are left with more questions than answers. His history of surviving political and legal consequences, including a Novichok poisoning attempt, highlighting the dangers he has consistently faced. And now the ambiguity surrounding his whereabouts raises grave concerns about his fate and what this means for the future of political opposition in Russia. And our next story is from the United States, which is gearing up for its presidential election. The Republicans and the Democrats are going all out in ensuring that they get to run the White House. And amid the political contest, the incumbent U.S. President Joe Biden seems to have found a secret weapon. A weapon that he is relying on to win another term. What is the story of this weapon? What is it all about? Our next report tells you.
The race to the White House has begun. U.S. President Joe Biden is running for re-election.
I ran for president.
His biggest challenger remains Donald Trump. He has taken a clear lead in election campaigning, as Biden's approval ratings scrapes at the bottom of the barrel. So, guess what the Democrats are doing to amplify Biden's prospects of winning? They're relying on a secret weapon: Hillary Clinton. Yes, the former Secretary of State is being utilized as a reinforcer in Biden's re-election campaign, as a key player in ensuring that Democrats win. Just look at some developments. 2 weeks back, Clinton pushed an op-ed in The Atlantic, making a case for Biden's political approach on the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. By doing so, Clinton put her credibility on the line, as progressive Democrats demand a ceasefire. 2 weeks before this, Clinton was on a Columbia University panel when a heckler tried disrupting the event. How did the former state secretary respond? She responded by shutting the heckler down. And on the final Monday in November, Clinton attended a fundraiser for Biden, organized by the Women's Leadership Forum. The event raised just shy of $1 million for Biden's re-election effort. These developments have made one thing absolutely clear, that the 2016 Democratic presidential nominee is slowly becoming one of the most prominent and influential surrogates in Biden's campaign. We're hardly surprised. As a former Secretary of State, Clinton has all the bona fides to provide Biden political cover, especially given the Israel-Hamas war and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. That said, Biden and Clinton have not always been close. In 2016, she elbowed him out of running for the White House. 6 years on, Biden is thirsty for political allies. His approval ratings are at an all-time low. Anti-incumbency seems to have creeped in heavily. And he is running neck and neck against a wrecking ball, former US President Donald Trump. In a nutshell, Biden needs all the support he can get right now. So he's relying on Hillary Clinton, utilizing her star power to get a political boost. And why just her? Biden is also receiving the support of Hillary's husband, former US President Bill Clinton, as well as Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. In fact, last month, the Clintons and Michelle Obama accompanied Biden to a memorial service for former First Lady Rosalind Carter. Around the same time, Bill Clinton sat down with Argentina's president-elect, serving as a high-profile surrogate for Joe Biden. This only proves the kind of unity that has crept in among the Democrats ahead of the elections. They're surely treating this election as the most important election in American history, tirelessly campaigning and rallying behind Joe Biden in ensuring that the Democrats remain at the helm of American politics. Bureau Report, WION The World is One.